Okay, this is me, Ryan the Tail's End, and as I've been posting the last few days, I've went to American Idol in San Diego. I didn't make it. I wasn't assuming to make it because of the other times that I went, 99% of the people got cut in the first round, and this is the first time I've actually been cut in the first round, which is kind of annoying. At the same time, I forgot my song. So I have no one really to blame but myself and nerves, and yeah. I do have one thing to say to the people who run American Idol. Get yourself organized. Today was awful. You let in people who shouldn't have been in early to audition. And I know that for entertainment value, you're going to get a lot of interesting people. Interesting meaning people who are dressed as something. But the organization for this one was awful. I went to the Las Vegas audition 3 years ago, San Francisco audition 4 years ago, and it was never this organized. I realized that there was a lot more people going to this one, but how can you take a lunch break at 11 o'clock, leave only 4 out of 13 booths open, with 15,000 people waiting? That's awful. And then you did that until 1 o'clock. I mean, I know that there's nothing that you can really compare it to, but when I went to the American Idol audition in... Why is it doing that? My video is funny. Okay. When I went to the American Idol audition in Las Vegas and in the Cow Palace in San Francisco, what ended up happening is there's about... Every section has about 500 people in it. And by 11:30... they would get to the next section, and the next section, the next section. I was in section 7, and I got to the floor at 11:30. We left about 12, and that's reasonable for 7 sections. Times 500 is 3,500 people within a few hours, because you let us in at about 8 o'clock, later than 8 o'clock. Whatever. And I know that I realize that you have to set up for the group song, and I know that you have to set up for the group shots and everything, but this was absolutely stupid. To keep people in the sun, in the hot sun, and expect them to sit there for 12 hours? 12 hours! I was in section 13. 12 hours is too long to wait to go to on American Idol. It really is. I expected them to get to section 7 at lunchtime, and I was expecting sometime in the afternoon. Sometime in the afternoon, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, to get to audition for one of the producers or judges or whatever. It took until 5:30. We got there at 6:30. That's a good 11, almost 12 hours. 12 hours to go across to audition all those people. Now, I realize that there are a lot of people auditioning. However, it did not take this long last time. My suggestion to the people in American Idol, the people who are running it, is if you don't want these because there were a lot of disgruntled people, because the way that they handed out the tickets was unorganized. Some people who were there on Saturday, the first day to get tickets, were one of the last people to go. And then some of the people who got them on Sunday, some of the last people to get the tickets, were the first ones to go. It looks like these tickets were passed out herky-jerkily, and it didn't make sense. It did not make sense on who was supposed to go first, when people who came earlier were not able to audition first, and people who came later were auditioning before I did. It doesn't make sense to me. I can't believe American Idol did this to the people and the fans. And then they asked us, this is the best part, to be there from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. to line up. But when they open the gates at 8 a.m., which you don't have to be there until 8 a.m., when they opened the gates at 8 a.m., it was about 8:15, they opened all the gates all around the stadium. Thus, I mean, why did you have to line up in line? Why couldn't they have just opened all the gates? They made us line up in line, and we stood in line for an hour and a half. I was there at 6:30. Why did you open all the gates? It's useless. Completely and totally useless. American Idol, you did a bad thing to the people who were auditioning for American Idol. You mistreated us. I don't trust you anymore. Maybe I won't come again. I used to come because I wanted to see the freaks come out. And I wanted to see the people watching. And honestly, I heard lots and lots of good voices. But you're not going to take them all. You can't. And I know I'm addressing this too, Shell, but this is just me venting because it was just completely awful. It was so bad today that San Diego, known for its relative mild weather, it was kind of warm. It was 80 degrees. It's probably 90 degrees in the sun. I saw 3 people get carted off to the hospital because they were waiting too long. They were waiting way too long. And I actually saw one girl pass out and fall down the stairs. They took her away on an ambulance, and needless to say, she passed out and she defecated on herself. How can you, American Idol, the producers of American Idol, the staff of American Idol, let this happen? This disorganized kind of thing. I've never had this happen before. It's always been a friendly, happy, fun time at American Idol. This was not friendly. This was not happy. This was not efficient. How can you let half of your staff, of the directors, go to lunch at 11 o'clock and then not coming back until 1 o'clock? They said shifts. That's a 2-hour shift. I don't know anyone who has a 2-hour lunch. Any normal working person only has an hour lunch. What is that about? Leave your comments.